What's going on, guys? My hair's in my face. Whoosh. And my name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. It's time for another third-party episode of Wednesday Afternoon Worship. Bam! Today, Mr. Dustin Hibbard requests we crack open The Gods of Porphyria, a la Purple Duck Games. Let's talk about Myketa. If you have any requests, they go down there. Remember that patronage at any tier gets your request to the top of a very, very long line. And this is a great environment to get patron requests in right now, owing to the fact that, well, I'm out for now, so it'll have to be Count Renalk next week if we don't get a patron request. And we have to keep him down! Go away, you! No! Anyway, this episode of Wednesday Afternoon Worship, of course, was brought to you in part by the man who requested it. Dustin, thank you for your support, man. Here we go. So, I think basically all over the place forever and ever. I'm not sure where the trope started, but Myketa is not a goddess that is a parallel of a real-world goddess. She is not a parallel of a philosophy. She's the parallel of an element in storytelling we see a lot. The wife, the girlfriend, husband, family member, etc., who waits for her lover to return home from war and continues to wait after they do not return, but a body is never found. Candlelight Vigil deity. Porphyria, of course, has its own setting and its own lore and legends. We won't dive into that too much today, but Myketa's church is a very loosely organized thing. An entity made up of counselors and soft-spoken advisors, and due to what it is they do, it's rare for more than a few of them to be in the same place at the same time. Occasionally, a priest of Myketa will travel to war to serve as an advisor. Some act as part-time religious figures, putting on the robes when necessary and doing something else for the rest of their life. You know, kind of like your friend who became an ordained minister on the internet so he could marry your other friends, but really just wants to, like, work at the AutoZone for the rest of his days. Man, that sounds oddly specific. I promise I don't know anyone like that. Yes, people who work at AutoZone and will forever. Yes, ordained online ministers, but weirdly enough, not both. In any case, Myketa is active in the mortal world, often showing her hand in mortal affairs or sending visions to communicate with the faithful. Always she appears, as she does in her art, in a doorway lit from behind so that the details of her appearance can never be seen. She, of course, maintains neutrality in all things and prefers to create opportunities for mortals rather than force an agenda of her own. She's all about family. She's all about soldiers separated by war from their families, particularly those who have been conscripted. Such individuals might prosper by her hand. The same is true for those working to foster strong communities. When you're young and you're settling down with a guy, but then he has to go halfway across the world to fight the monstrous humanoid of your choice and then never comes back, how do you survive that? With your friends and family. Aw, I'm getting all sentimental. Anyway, Myketa is true neutral. Her domains are community, darkness, time, and war, with the subdomains family, loss, tactics, and past. Her favored weapon is the long spear, and her symbol, I must assume, is a woman standing in a doorway. Of course, Purple Duck Games has not given us obedience paths, but they're really powerful, they're really flavorful, and they're really fun. So I guess I'll just have to take that mantle up myself, won't I? If you think you could do these better, if I've got the flavor wrong, in the comments below. To perform Myketa's homebrew deific obedience, which takes place in the hour before you go to bed, light a candle and hold a vigil for those who have not returned from war. This vigil can be for someone specific, or it can be a broad vigil for everyone lost in war. Offer words of guidance to any who approach you and have lost a loved one, and ensure that your vigil includes them. In return, you gain one combat feat that you meet the prereqs for. This combat feat may change every time you perform your obedience, but it cannot be used to qualify for other feats. Because, you know, if you're a half-hit dice peasant who's been sent away to war, you might need a way to cheat on power attack. Though you would have to have more hit dice to get the obedience in the first place. Exalted boons grant us keep watch thrice a day. Super good for performing your obedience. Blessing of courage and life twice a day, or once a day vigilant rest. At 16th level, allies within 30 feet of you regain hit points from resting at double the rate. In addition, they may add your wisdom modifier on saves versus spells and abilities that would cause them to not have restful sleep, such as nightmare, if it is higher than their own. At 20th level, once per day, you may glance into a candle and attempt to find someone lost in war as per Greater Scrying, except that the target receives no will save. If you are able to locate the target, the candle automatically snuffs out after the spell ends. If you are not, likely because they are dead, the candle's flame lowers the light around it rather than raising it for 1 minute. Sentinel boons! It's a couple of spells I feel like I give out all the time, but it remains relevant. Ally across time thrice a day, pack empathy twice a day, or army across time once a day. At 16th level, you can call forth the souls of dead conscripted soldiers, either to enact vengeance upon those who have slain them, or to serve you in battle. Once per day, you may summon 1d4 ghosts. Their alignment is neutral, and they never attack creatures that are not hostile to you and your allies, and even then will not attack innocents whom you have provoked. They last for a number of rounds equal to your level. Lastly, at 20th level, your connection to the spirit realm has left a part of your physical form wispy and see-through. You become incorporeal, but only against attacks, and weapons you wield are considered to have the ghost touch ability. In addition, attacks you make ignore non-living matter as per the brilliant energy ability. Evangelist boons, it's shared training thrice a day, coordinated effort twice a day, or battle mind link once a day. At 16th level, allies within 30 feet of you with less than half your hit dice may use your base attack bonus when making an attack action if it is higher than their own. And at 20th, allies within 30 feet of you with less than half your hit dice may use your base attack bonus when making a full attack action if it is higher than their own. Cause you gotta rally the peasants, right? If we're using conscripts, well, we very certainly must make sure they can function so they can get home to their families. And for our boon, Myketa grants you immunity to fear. Either don't be afraid, carry on, live your best life with your community, or don't be afraid, you're gonna get home. Now, bringing Myketa into a game is probably the easiest thing ever because I'm pretty sure every adventurer everywhere, and not just you edgelords out there, even the most, upstanding paladin ever probably lost a friend during some sort of war when they were conscripted, or at least knows, a friend or a family member or some secondary, tertiary connection, right? Myketa is everywhere. She's a deity for everyone. She's almost like the patron saints of Greek and Latin mythology. Myketa probably isn't prayed to a whole heck of a lot, except for when she's needed. Then she's prayed to a whole heck of a lot. So she's probably already in your game. Myketa is. You just gotta know where to look. A player who worshipped Myketa is going to need a lot of people missing in war to be able to do their thing. Otherwise, why would they not just go back to the blacksmith's life? And that's up to you, my friends. They need people to fight, they need wars to happen, and that's the campaign where Myketa is. Or maybe candlelight vigil for that one player who just can't find the time to come over on Monday nights and play dice. No shade thrown, I promise. Anyway, what do y'all think about Myketa? Have you worshipped her? Any of the deities from Purple Duck? How would you bring her into your campaigns? Down there, let me know all about it. And thank you guys for watching as always. Next week, it might be Count Renalk, or it could be somebody else. I'll see you then.